your first week in November is all about hunger reduction. So there are a number of strategies that you can implement. Lots of times when people are trying to shred some weight, they end up saying they always feel hungry. So on Monday, what I want you to do is calculate your base metabolic rate. That's your BMR. That's the number of calories that you should be eating in a day. So I'll send you the formulas to calculate those. The reason that's significant is because what I often find as a trainer is that people aren't overeating and preventing them from losing weight. They're undereating, which creates that feeling of hunger. Now, when we undereat, not only are we short on nutrients, because we're short on calories and nutrients, we lack some energy, and we have that always hungry feeling. What tends to happen then is our diet doesn't last long, or we end up binge eating and undoing everything that we've worked for. So on Monday, calculating your base metabolic rate is your most important task. So once you have that on day number 2, you're going to track your calories to see if you're eating within your base metabolic rate. Now, I'll also send you some numbers for safe weight loss ranges, what you can trim from your base metabolic rate, either through your diet or through exercise. So make sure that you're within a safe range, or you could actually be working against yourself and triggering your body to store everything that you're eating. So we want to make sure that you're within your caloric range. So Monday you learn what that is. Tuesday you track and make sure you're there. Wednesday I want you to eat breakfast. Even if you're not a breakfast eater, I want you to give it a try. The reason is, when you wake up in the morning, if you go for that first hour and you don't eat anything, it can tell your body that it's not going to get to eat today. So what then happens is your body tries to make up for lost ground, convince you that it's really hungry so that you're going to feed it. And I know some people say, I just don't have time for breakfast. You're going to see some good breakfast ideas and recipes throughout this challenge, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up something quick and easy. It seriously takes me 1 minute and 15 seconds to make my breakfast in the morning, and I'll share that with you as well. Easy, breezy, sound nutrition, and it gets me going for the day. It's been fiber, protein, and that stuff is important. So hunger reduction is going to be aided by you eating breakfast. Day number 4 is Thursday. Follow the 5-finger rule, and I'll send a separate video that explains this a little bit more in depth. It's an easy rule I used to use when I was a teacher. I have a master's in education, so when I would be helping my students pick books and I had them follow the 5-finger rule, it was easy for them to know whether or not the book was appropriate for them, and you can follow the same rule with some modifications to know whether or not a food that you're about to put in your mouth is good for you. What happens when we eat processed junky foods is we get our blood sugar spikes. We get really hungry afterward because they're just not filling, they're not satiating, they break down really easy. So you'll get that video and a link to YouTube in addition to this video this week. Day number 5, follow the fiber, fat, protein rule. Whenever you eat, you should always try, whether it's snacks, meals, whatever it is, having a fiber, a fat, and a protein. The reason is pretty simple. If you only eat fibers, those things are going to get digested, and you're going to be hungry quicker. If you only eat protein, you don't have a lot of instant energy, and protein doesn't fill you up the way fiber does. If you only eat fat, that stuff gets digested in a minute, and you're hungry again right away. But when you put those 3 things together, you have fiber, which makes you feel full. Think of like broccoli, how full, fresh broccoli, that's very fibery. Add a protein to that, and protein actually slows digestion. It's harder for the body to break protein down, so you feel full longer. And then the third thing is that fat, which is instant energy and necessary for brain function and things like that. So by having those 3 things balanced out, it's not going to get rid of the fat in a hurry, it's going to digest slowly, and you're going to feel full longer. So every time you eat today, an example of that would be an apple with peanut butter, chicken with brown rice, and steamed vegetables. So fiber, fat, and protein every time that you eat today. If you've got some questions on whether or not what you were planning on doing is going to count, shoot me a message on Facebook or on email, and I'll help you understand that. So every time you eat today, I want you to post that, or write that down and make sure you're doing that. Saturday, sit down while you eat. This is super important. Lots of times the reason people get hungry is because they have gone walked around while they're eating, so they pretty much inhale their food. So what we want to do is sit down while we eat so that we eat a little bit slower, so that we chew our food, it gets to the belly, we have that full feeling. It's going to be better for you if you sit down while you're eating. That way you don't inhale your food. That way you have a sound quality meal that's going to keep you full longer. So, easy things. This is just like any of our other less physical weeks. I definitely want you to try to pick up some extra points this week. Visit a class, take a run, take a walk with the kids. I mean, there are lots and lots of options for you to get physical. If you have a question about whether or not your activity counts, let Karen or I know, and we will validate it or veto it. So I hope you are having a great time. I'm so proud of you for already being in November. I hope that you're sticking to it as mightily as you planned. And if you have questions, if you need additional accountability or motivation, you let me know, because I can't help you if I don't know you need help. Enjoy your week.